or if they will let it eat them. And
Crumble. I don't know if we would have crumbled
cookie.
or not. I don't. Like a what?
like a cookie.
Like a cookie. Like a cookie. Welcome back to DRS, the dance reaction show hosted by Luka and Jenalyn and a now awake Baby Ella. We have a lot to get into. The main thing that we saw that was a huge change for season 4 of NBC's World of Dance is that the judges, J-Lo, Neyo, and DEREK HOUGH, ambushed the audition process for those contestants, meaning that those contestants went into that final stage of auditions, which we did, by the way. We did those auditions in season 1. They came in thinking, hey, we're going to go in front of these producers, we're going to go and we're going to show our stuff, and then maybe later down the line, are we going to go on TV? And that got flipped on its head like that.
Yeah, I think that it really tested the contestants as to whether or not they can handle the pressure or if they will let it eat them. And
Crumble. I don't know if we would have crumbled
cookie.
or not. I don't. Like a what?
like a cookie.
Like a cookie. Like a cookie. I don't know if we would have crumbled or not. I'm not too sure.
I don't know, actually.
Because we came in, right, and we put a lot of pressure on ourselves going into that first audition in season 1 before we even knew what World of Dance really was. I was lucky to have Jenalyn by my side, but we didn't know if there was rumors that J-Lo would come.
Yeah.
There was rumors that she wouldn't, but this time it was a reality. So when they came in, they got to walk through those doors and they saw all 3 judges.
Oh my God, their faces. I was actually surprised as to how surprised they were.
Because it's hard. Like, think about it. It's probably hard to like keep that a secret, but when they walked through, they couldn't believe it themselves that
They had no idea. They had no clue whatsoever.
And I don't know. I mean, for us, it would have been, you know, who knows what would have happened. We were ready either way, but it's tough to walk in there. You work your whole life to get to that moment, and then that moment just gets forced on you when you don't even know what's going to happen. I mean, man, that really puts you to the test. The first section that we're going to jump into is our react and predict section, where we're going to go through those contestants that came in and by surprise were put on camera, by surprise were put in front of J-Lo, Neyo, and DEREK HOUGH, and we're going to react to their performances, and we're going to predict how they're going to do better. And beyond that, we're going to say, do we agree with the judges to put them through, or do we agree with the judges, you know, that they didn't really have what it takes? All that and more is coming up on this react and predict section. Our first contestant that's up, and these guys were unbelievable. We actually know them for a long period of time. We know them. They're called Jefferson Anita, and they are a salsa cabaret couple. What salsa cabaret is essentially, cabaret is a division where you have lifts and tricks and you don't have a lot of rules and regulations outside of a time limit, and it applies to ballroom cabaret, which is what we used to do, and it applies to any other style. Salsa cabaret is one of those. Now, a couple that did very well in World of Dance, didn't win, but did very well, is Karen and Ricardo. They did salsa cabaret as well, and there are definitely some similarities in between the two. Jenalyn is very, very, very knowledgeable in salsa cabaret, or in salsa in general, having multiple titles, X, Y, and Z, that we don't need to go into, but I'd love to hear her take on exactly what she saw when she saw that stellar minute 30 performance from Jefferson Anita.
Wow, you said that very well. Jefferson and Adrianita, they're from Cali, Colombia. And in Cali, Colombia, they have a specific style where they have very, very fast feet, and it's a very fast style of salsa. Whereas if you look at Karen and Ricardo, they didn't do Colombia style. They did just the regular on-one salsa.
So on one means that you
On
step,
one.
so I'm going to step on one.
Yeah, so the counts for salsa for on-one is 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7.
There we go.
Yeah, whereas Colombia style, I don't even know the counts. Like, I've never learned it before, but it's like, oh, 1,
It looks
2.
like, to me, my professional eye saw it as a Indiana 1 in Indiana, 2 in Indiana, 3 in Indiana, 4 in Indiana, 5, and then they slowed it up for and all the way through there. But it was definitely an impressive performance. We saw our social media did blow up. We did see that they used a trick that we patented on the first episode in the duels, where, you know, Jenalyn basically wrapped around my neck. It's been coined the around the necker, the pizza toss, the pizza around the necker, the toss. Anyway, the point is, we actually did work with this couple a while back. We did a couple of privates with them when they did come into Canada for a salsa convention. Yeah. And we were able to teach them some of those basic moves around that. One thing they did ask, among all other moves, was, you know, how to start working on that, and we gave them the best we could in you know, in the 45-hour time limit that we did have with them. And then they did it on that stage. And again, so there's no copying or them trying to, one up us in any way at all. They just basically took that private and created a routine of their own. And one of the moves they did was that one, and we salute them for it.
Yeah, they definitely have a unique style and a unique flavor to them, which is somewhat different to Karen and Ricardo, but I think that they did an incredible job for their minute 30 routine or minute routine, however long it was. And I'm sure the judges loved it, but they did have a comparison to Karen and Ricardo because they were a salsa cabaret couple. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, I'm going to be honest right now, with salsa cabaret, what's amazing about it is salsa as a dance style is transferable. A lot of the salsa songs have the same count, like Jenalyn pointed out, and you can really transfer move from song to song. So that's going to be an advantage to them because they're going to have, just like Karen and Ricardo did, a whole bunch of routines that they've been working on forever that they can literally just copy and paste and apply to any salsa song. However, the downside is definitely going to be the fact that once you see a salsa cabaret routine once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, that repetitive nature starts working as a disadvantage. And that's going to be really key, seeing how they move over, is they're going to have to try to find something new that no one has ever seen before. They are going to be incredibly difficult to beat as long as they can come up with new and interesting ways to do their routines with different styles of movement. So in terms of what Jefferson and Anita wanted to do, we are now, on top of just reacting and predicting, we're going to give our own sentiments on, do we think and do we agree with the judges? Should they have went through or should they not have? Okay. And what we're going to use is Jenalyn was able to get, on top of having beautiful baby Ella here, as she woke up, as she heard my saying of her name, Jenalyn was able to make some nice little cue cards where we're going to say either yes or a no as to do we let them into the next round, because again, in this audition process, there was a no score. So, Jenalyn, drum roll please. Do you think that Jefferson and Anita should have made it to the next round?
A yes. I think that they should go to the next round.
So, Jenalyn said yes. Baby Ella,
I'm giving a yes.
Baby
Okay,
Ella, what do you think?
What do you think? Okay.
6, 7, 8. All right, so we got a yes from Baby Ella. I truly do believe that yes, Jefferson and Anita definitely did deserve to go to the next round. Beyond this yes being this way, or this way, another key fact that's going to be very important for them is how exactly are they going to be able to change up their style, change up the salsa cabaret, and bring something new to the table that people have not seen before and don't expect. If they do that, I think they can make it very far. They may be able to win this thing. If they don't, their limit will be 1, 2 to 3 more rounds, whether it's the cut or the divisional finals will be the ceiling if they keep it the same. But we believe that they'll probably be able to change it up a little bit and hopefully make it all the way to the end. So that is 3 yeses. 1 from Luka, 1 from Jenalyn, and one from Baby Ella, who's sleeping. The second act that was able to walk onto that World of Dance stage was our fellow Canadians and individuals who are extremely talented. They're in the junior division. They're from Vancouver, and their name is Groovement. And they walked in after an emotional story about passing of certain family members and really life-inspiring moments. They were able to walk on that stage and see the 3 judges and really dig deep and try to bring out the best performance they can. They did a group-style hip-hop choreography. They had some great moments. They had the whoa, they had some isolations, and they came out with one of their main tricksters literally doing a flip right out of the gate. We really thought that they did a good job. Now the judges, on the other hand, had their own opinions where they thought that it came out very strong in the beginning, but then it kind of dialed down and they lost the judges in a couple of moments, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But in the end, the judges did let them go into the callback round, not necessarily into the duels. Now, Jenalyn, what was your take when you first saw them and when they stepped on that stage?
I thought that they were a very clean, well put together group and team. And in that interview, they were all crying based off of that one person who had that very emotional story, and they all connected to it. So I just saw that as just a very supportive team, which showed on stage. I really thought that they were connected as a team, and they were very well put together.
And that's very important. As a team, one of the main things that distinguishes a high-level team and some of the lower grades is how well they move as a unit. A lot of the times you have solid dancers in that team, but that doesn't matter if the whole team, if the whole unit doesn't move as one. Again, the Super Crews of the world, the Jabberwockies. I mean, even if you want to go with the S ranks of the world, they move as one, and that's what creates those pictures that are lifelike. So again, they did a great job of doing that and as moving as one. The only comment that we would have is that they started out so high. Those first 30 seconds were unbelievable. And it almost felt like they used their whole bag of moves in that first 30 seconds. That last minute, it felt like you were waiting for the next punch and it didn't really hit you as hard as you thought it should. So for them, the judges really pointed it out, and I thought they were relatively accurate. I think we agree that they really need to be able to create that choreography to feed into the want of the crowd and then deliver right at the end as that last expression. But they were very clean, very technically sound, and personally, I think the both of us are big fans.
Yes, and the only comment that I would have on their routine would probably be that I would love to see them hit their moves a little harder, because there was a moment that Neo actually talked about where they did like a groove and you just didn't really feel it. You didn't connect with the groove as much because first off, their expressions weren't really in it. And second, because they didn't feel that moment, like they didn't sink into it and take that moment as it is. I wish that moment could be longer and they really milked that. But other than that, I think that they were a really solid team, and it was very energetic, but it did have that drop off at the end.
Again, you know, it's the ability to sit into your moment and let the audience enjoy it, and that's something that comes with experience and that comes with time. And I think that they were pumped up there. That conversation, that they were like, okay, y'all think that this is it? Let me go show you my right hook, right? And that's something that I think we're excited for, and the judges were excited for this callback. So, gentlemen, would you put them through to the next round or not? Drum roll, please. Sorry, baby Ella.
I'm going to say yes. I would put them through the next round because I really think that they have a lot more in them and a lot more that they can bring to the table. I just really want to see it.
Baby Ella, what do you think? Does Baby Ella give a yes or a no? I actually have no idea. Here we go. Drum roll, please. And... oh! No. Okay, so obviously, as we all thought, Baby Ella was by far the most difficult judge here, and it shows there. She's going back to sleep. She's not really interested in any of this. She's like, all right, guys, you guys just do your little show. I got my snacks. I'm good. So we got a yes and a no. I'm going to give a firm yes. I'm going to give a firm yes for the simple fact that they did have the tricks. They did have the wow moments. They had the right pieces. I just feel like if they were able to put them together in a little bit more of a compelling manner and sit into each and every moment to deliver it just that bit stronger, they would have gone through with flying colors. So I give a strong yes, and I really am excited to see what they're able to do. Canada's very own from Vancouver, representing that West Side. Groovement, way to go. You got Luka Jenalyn's blessing. We're going to jump on to the third act that made their way to the World of Dance stage. They were a contemporary duo out of LA called Jake and Chao, and they were unbelievable. They were very talented, very technical, and we absolutely loved their performance. Now, they did their whole performance. They went through with a contemporary piece. The judges gave them 3 yeses, but there were some critiques in terms of what are they going to do in the next rounds? What are they going to do to keep leveling up and keep bringing their story forward? That's going to be something we're going to touch on. But before I get into it, Jenalyn, what did you think about their performance, and what's your take?
Well, Jake and Chao from Los Angeles, I thought they were an incredible contemporary duo. Like, they had the technique, the lines, and they were both very strong individual dancers. He had some amazing flips that he did, and she had some incredible leg lines, and she did that thing with like her arm where it like went all the way back and she brought it over her leg. Like, that was pretty intense. But overall, I thought they were a really strong contemporary duo, and I really hope to see what comes next.
Again, for me, I thought that they were both incredibly talented dancers individually. I thought that individually they were able to show their skills. Again, Jake had a little bit of Michael Demensky in him. He's obviously very talented, very able, and so did Chao. I mean, she was obviously very strong with her lines, fundamentally sound, no sickle feet, nothing that you could really point at and say, hey, you know, you really got to work on this. But what I really want to see moving forward is how are they going to come together as a duo and be one strong act? So we're not looking for 2 good dancers. dancers. We're looking for one entity that's going to be able to show us something we have yet to see before. And that's, I think, the biggest challenge for Jake and Chao, is because, again, we've seen strong studio dancers. We've seen strong LA dancers come out and do their stuff, but how are you going to differentiate yourself? How are you going to be new? What are you going to act that hasn't been seen before? That's going to be the big challenge for Jake and Chao. But again, they showed us that fundamentally and technically they're able to do it. Now, creatively, how are they going to make their storyline a little more concrete? How are they going to make their elements a little more wow-worthy? Or how are they going to make their own style out of all the skills that they have? That is going to be a big thing for Jake and Chao. And I think we both agree they're amazing, but they, to take it to the top, have those couple of things to add on, which I think they may, they have a good chance to do.
Yeah, I think that you really hit that on the head with the storyline.
Yeah.
Because I think that having that storyline and concept will really bring them, like the right storyline and concept will bring them further in the competition. And I love the use of the shirt in this specific routine, and the song choice was just, oh, I love that song.
So let's go through to the judging panel. Do we agree? Do we not? They got 3 yeses, so we're able to make it to the next round. Gentlemen, what do you think? Do you think they give a yes or a no? Drum roll, please.
With a yes.
I agree with that. Now, Daviella, what do you think? Yes or no? Here we go. Yes. I'm going to go with a solid yes. I think they deserve 3 yeses. I think they deserve to make it to the next round. I think Baby Ella wants to go on the table. At the end of the day, they have what it takes to make it to the next round. Baby Ella agrees with her obvious movement. But at the end of the day, how are they going to differentiate themselves? How are they going to be a unique act that we have never seen before? That remains to be answered. But again, 3 yeses and a lot of respect coming from Luka and Jenalyn. Now we're going to jump on to the 4th individuals who jumped onto that stage. We're about halfway there. They jumped in, and they are 4 brothers who stepped onto the NBC World of Dance stage. They're called the Williams fam, and you probably have seen them somewhere on social media in some form. We have the love their content. They come up with creative ways to work on different songs and really to entertain an audience.
Yeah, they have over 2 million followers. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a huge following, and they are very entertaining and very humorous guys, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, again, you got four good-looking guys out there, all brothers, all within the same age group. They had a little bit of play on that in terms of their girlfriends or whatever the case may be. Neat storyline, good guys, and again, very, very successful up to this date. But we're going to talk about how it was when they stepped onto that stage, or as Neyo says, into that arena. They came in with, I guess, a social media influenced type routine with a lot of the things that have been very, 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 very well on social media, and the judges didn't really think that it had the snuff to make it into the next round, and I think they ended up with 3 no's.
Yeah. Okay. Ella's licking my hand really weirdly, but yeah. So these brothers, they mentioned that they have not performed for a competition before.
Okay.
With their, social media type dancing. So they really wanted to see how it would translate on a competition stage in front of judges. Now, what did you think of their routine?
Listen, let me preference this comment by saying that the Williams fam are very successful, and rightfully so. They're very good at what they do, which is creating entertaining, quick videos online that people can copy and do their own, that are fun, and they do that to a T.
Which is why they also have a huge following.
Which is directly why they have a huge following. But again, if you want to step on the World of Dance stage and you want to follow in the path that was paved by the Lay Twins, by the Keone Amaris, by the Kinjas,
The Lab.
by those individuals who hone in on their craft and do things that I've never seen before. If you do 6 booty pops and a couple of waves, it's tough to try to sell yourselves as some people who want to take the dance industry to the next level. And it fell flat for me. And it was a little bit, for me personally, I just got to the level where, it seemed like an experiment or a joke. I wasn't sure what their thought pattern was there, but they really weren't able to try to take what they're doing on social media to the next level. It looked like they just tried to copy and paste it and see what the results were. And the results were 3 no's.
Like how we say that dancing or making choreography for a camera is different to making choreography for a live performance. The same idea or the same mentality applies here, because with this particular group, they do very well on social media, and their choreography does very well on social media because of how short, concise, and funny and entertaining it is. However, how it translates to a dance crowd who wants to see a bit of a competition, maybe a little different, right?
And I thought that the judges were accurate what they said.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I believe that the Williams fam, if their idea was to boost their social media, to get their name out there, to do what they need to do for their brand, it's a success.
Yeah.
It's a success. But if their idea was really to try to show that they're the best in the world and that they're at the highest of levels of dancers, then I'm not too sure what they did on that stage. But again, I believe that they did a good representation of what they did on TikTok. Unfortunately, that's not really what World of Dance is about.
It was a great routine. It was an entertaining routine, but not a world-class routine that deserved to, get through the next round closer to $1 million.
So let's do our customary response. Do we believe that they deserve to be in the next round or not? Do we agree with the judge's decision? Gentlemen, drum roll, please. Yes or no? What do you say? Wow, we scared Ella. We scared Ella.
I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. We got to figure out another way to do this. But
I'm so sorry.
Jeez Louise.
I really scared her. Okay.
She's frightened.
She was
Pork.
She's like, why can't you let me sleep? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go with a no.
Aww.
Ella agrees with that, so it's a no for her.
A no for Ella. I think.
Ella.
Yeah, I think Ella. We were talking about it earlier. She walked off stage. She was upset. She was like, she was not a big fan of it.
Yeah, she got a little frustrated.
She got frustrated. She started stress eating.
She's getting frustrated now, man.
She was eating our paperwork. It was tough. It was a tough scene. We had to calm her down. She's the star of the show, understandably so. But goodness, was it tough? I'm gonna have to go with a hard no. I think on Instagram and on TikTok they're successful, but to try to walk up on the world stage and try to show that you're the best dancer in the world and do what they did was a tough sell, and they got no in response. So a tough day. But again, if their point was to boost their following and to show themselves on a different platform, they did that. But tough no for me.
Yeah. Let's see who's next.
Next up, we have Kida the Great and Bailey Silk. These are two individuals that we know for a very long time. They're very into the ballroom. They're not in the ballroom.
They're not ballroom whatsoever.
0% ballroom. They are very in the World of Dance community. They've been doing shows for a while, and they're very known, very popular, and they're great people. We've met them, just like we worked with Jefferson and Anita in the past. We didn't work with Bailey and Kida, but we know them. We've seen them in stops. We see them on tours. They're great people. They're great friends of ours.
Yeah, they're definitely two very experienced dancers. He won So You Think You Can Dance, the junior version.
The junior
right?
version.
The
They're in the
junior
junior
version.
division, actually.
Yeah,
they look a little older. Kida got a deep voice now. He talks like this. And he looks at you like this. He's got a mustache. I'm a huge fan of Kida. We're huge fans.
He is so talented.
Of both Kida and Bailey. They're both unbelievable dancers. Bailey was actually part of S Rank that competed in season 2, and I think they went all the way to the finale.
They were on our season.
She was the person who went boom, boom, but instead of my elbows being like this, hers were a little more.
They looked like this, but like
they were like this,
my hand like that.
right? So
like,
they weren't like. They were like this.
like
Outside of just doing that move, though, she's an unbelievable dancer, a really kind individual, and her talent is just seeping out of her. Both her and Kida are huge inspirations to millions of people who are up-and-coming dancers.
And now they have joined forces.
And they are a couple.
Yeah.
Like a dance couple.
Whoa. Okay, they're not a couple.
Breaking news. Kida and Bailey are a dance couple. But they are a dance couple. And that was something that was shown into their performance. And some of the judges' comments really touched on how this is their first time joining forces as a dance duo. And that's a big question because we know how good they are individually. We know that they've been around the world. They've toured with so many different people, had so much success. Shout out to the mama girl over there, Momager, who has been doing some unbelievable stuff, an unbelievable inspiration to everyone who's trying to really take their kid to the next level. But outside of that, when they were out there on that stage, how did they come together as a duo and how did they perform together? That's the real question. In our opinion, we thought that they were in sync They were fundamentally sound, and their choreography and technique complemented one another great.
Don't forget about musicality, because their musicality was off the charts.
Unbelievable.
Ugh.
Absolutely unbelievable. However, I don't think they looked at each other one time. I may be wrong.
Yeah.
But as a duo, as individuals, there's got to be a synergy in between you two. You guys have to come out as one, not as two greats, but as one unbelievable duo. And that's going to be the main task that they're going to have to overcome is how are we going to take Kida the Great and Bailey and turn it into Bailey and Kida as one unit that's just going to roll over people.
One thing that the judges mentioned was how they shouldn't be dancing as if they're just doing choreography side by side. They should be dancing as a unit. They should be dancing as, like, they should be dancing with each other, and they need to show that they love dancing with one another, because right now you can tell that they've only been dancing for a couple of weeks, which is what they said.
Yeah,
so
together.
The fact that they've only been dancing together for a couple of weeks, however, they both have an incredible amount of experience in dance individually. Like, their connection really needs to be worked on.
And that's going to be the one thing they have to overcome is really how are they going to come together and be that one unit that nobody can touch? Because individually, they're already made. We already know how great they are. They've inspired generations. They are the best of people, good friends of the both of ours, and we are here for Bailey and Kida. You best believe it. Let's do it quick. Let's make sure it's clean. Drum roll, please. Yes or no, do they deserve to be in the next round? Gentlemen?
Yes.
Cleanest of yeses.
Yes, just yes.
Baby Ella?
She's too tired.
Yes! Nice. And for me, it's the cleanest of yeses. Huge respect. Two dancers that I think I respect at the highest of levels in the entire dance industry. Have a mad love for all of them, and we wish them nothing but the best. The question is going to be, how do those two unbelievable talents come together and dominate? And we're here to see how.
They made a great first impression, but let's see how far they take it.
And how they come together and steamroll the competition.
Bulldoze.
And the last individual to step on that World of Dance stage in season 1 was Savannah Menzel from Minnesota. She was an incredible talent. Only 9 years old. Only 9 years old.
She was the cutest little girl ever, and she has definitely set the standards, a new standard for 9-year-olds out there.
She was so good that Baby Ella said, I'm done with this. You guys know my take. You guys got to do this thing on your own.
It's too much for her.
Star qualities here by Baby Ella. We can all see why she's as cute as she is because she really doesn't care. At the end of the day, listen, Savannah Menzel walked on that stage like an adorable little princess that she is, and she wowed the judges, the entire North America, everybody watching in seconds with the fact that she wanted to use the $1 million to buy herself a puppy. Aww. A puppy.
A puppy.
Which is the cutest thing anyone can say in an interview ever.
I want to give her my puppy.
Honestly, at this point. Beyond that, she had a fierce attitude that showed on stage, and she was able to absolutely destroy her performance. Again, as a solo act, the nerves that it must have to walk up there on your own is something I can't attest to because I always have my trusty partner right here beside me who makes everything kind of run a little bit more smoothly than thought previously. However, she was able to show her flexibility, her control, her strength at a high level, and we and the judges are both here for her. Now, again, the judges fell in love, and she got 3 yeses and made it to the next round. But Jenalyn, coming in, what did you think of her technique, and what did you think of her performance overall?
She was a very strong jazz funk soloist.
Okay.
Now, this is an interesting style because it requires a lot of energy and just sassiness in general. And she definitely nailed that sassiness out there. She had those hips, those walks, and those legs were everything. Like, her leg was all the way up to her head, like, no problem. And she did that turn that I think I'm going to reference Eva Igo from season 1.
Big shout out to Eva Igo.
So close to winning season 1. I just got major feels about both of them. Because they're both from Minnesota and they had some similar moves, I just thought that she killed that routine so much. but I did see some similar moves, and I really want to see how far she goes.
Again, the one big thing is going to be the comparisons, right? There's comparisons all the time when you're coming into a show that's been going on for a while, and Eva Igo is definitely in a comparison. Again, she is younger than Eva Igo was when she went on the show.
Very young.
She's very young, and that's going to be a big factor. The question is going to be, how many different storylines can one person explain? How many different moves can one person do? And that's going to be the big thing as a soloist. How are you going to come up with new, creative ways that us and the judges have yet to see that we can wow ourselves with your choreography? Now, one thing she has working in her favor is she's 9 years old.
She's definitely got the cute factor.
It's not even comparable. So that's something that she's going to have to definitely play off in the later rounds on how can someone at that age be that good. If she continues to do that and continues to grow and expand her choreography, expand her concepts, expand the storyline and the meaning behind her performances, I think she's going to be extremely successful. And both Luka and Jenalyn are here for Savannah Menzel. So let's cut to the chase and let's see what the results are. Baby Ella's walked off stage. She told us that it's going to be a yes, and she really doesn't want to do the procedure, which is fine. Again, if you're the star of the show, you can decide what you want to do and what you need to do. But we're going to hold up this yes from Baby Ella right here. Boom. For Jenalyn.
This is for me.
Okay. And this is for me. I mean, 3 yeses. Come on now. Like, there's no debate here. Obviously, she was good enough to make it through. The question is now, how is she going to be able to change up what she does in the long term and be different every time she steps on that field?
Okay. She's not a football player.
No, she's not a football player.
She's a very technical and cute dancer.
So when she steps on the World of Dance stage, how is she going to be able to differentiate herself every time out there? And how is she going to be able to bring something new we haven't seen before? But again, she's got our blessing, and we give her 3 yeses, hands down. That concludes it for all 6 contestants that appeared on the season premiere of NBC's World of Dance. Honestly, it's a very, very, very good showing for that first episode of NBC's World of Dance. We have Ella licking my finger, which means that she's obviously excited and a little bit tired, but that's the way the world works. Again, we have great, great dancers. The question is, how are you going to come up with something new that no one has seen before and keep leveling up the game? That is going to be something that we're going to be looking forward to, and again, something we are excited to see. And with that, you have DRS, the dance reaction show where we reacted to the premiere of NBC's World of Dance. You had your host, Luka, my beautiful co-host, partner, and girlfriend, Jenalyn, and the very special guest and ultimate judge, Baby Ella here. Wave. Smile and wave. That's the way we're going to end it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and comment down below for any questions you want us to answer in the next episode. We have a few guests coming on to the show, and we are excited to talk about it. We can't tell you if they're former winners or not, if they're former contestants or not. Okay. All right.
Don't spoil it.
But they're coming on the show, and that's going to happen next week after episode 2.
Without further ado,
This is DRS, the dance reaction show, hosted by Luka Jenalyn and Baby Ella.
and we'll see you next on episode 2 of World of Dance season 4.
Ah!